It is live. Okay. Happy Sunday. Um, it is 11:30ish in the morning, and I was gonna post a video last night. Um, because I started to post one yesterday morning, and I didn't. And I know that it's difficult hearing from me that I didn't have words, but I didn't. I didn't. I kind of knew what I wanted to say. Have you ever done that? But you just can't articulate it. So I decided to sleep on it and pray about it and think about it. And um, still, last night I didn't have anything. And if I'm being completely honest, today I have nothing either. But I'm gonna wing it. So before I get started, let's talk about this low carb diet that I've been doing, which I'm a huge fan of. I'm doing really well with it. Um, it's not a hard diet to stick to. It really isn't. But there's one area that I'm having some difficulty with, and I left a cabinet open. Coffee. Okay, if you know me at all, you understand and know how. Is that a? Please tell me it's not a scratch. These are new. How much I love coffee. And yes, I have no makeup on, but it's Sunday. Leave me alone. I love coffee. Love, love, love it. It's one of my favorite things ever. And, you know, I'm not one of these people that can drink it black, you know. Wish I was, but I'm not. But the coffee creamer typically has about 5 carbs in it. So if you're trying to stay under 20 carbs a day, you know, that 1 cup of coffee, that's really seriously cutting into it. So I have been trying to use flavored syrup. And I have tried just about everything out there that's sugar-free. I've tried the pecan and the maple bourbon, which if it didn't have the bourbon, I think I could have been okay with the maple, but the bourbon, I don't really care for bourbon in its natural form. Artificial bourbon flavor is worse. Let's see, what else? Caramel, salted caramel. And I got online and ordered these huge bottles from this one company, and I got a coconut because we know how I feel about my coconut creamer. So I got the coconut and the blueberry, and the coconut, I really couldn't even taste it, and then the blueberry, it's good, but it's, I don't know. So here's what I've decided to do. I've decided to cut back even more. Like if I would normally have eaten like 18 carbs a day, I'm just going to kick that back to 10 so that I can at least enjoy one delicious cup of coffee, because, you know, listen, I don't have much in this world to hang on to. Coffee's one of them, and no. So, I had 1 cup this morning with the sugar-free blueberry, and then I use, actually I use whole cream. I was using half and half, but heavy whipping cream has got even less carbs. So I've been using that with the flavored syrup, and I just can't know about it. So this has got the coconut in it, and I'm just going to have 1 cup a day. I feel that that's fair, so that's what I'm going to do. And there it is. So I have been home all weekend. Friday day I went and ran on my little errands and went and got my hair cut, and she even like cut the part, which I don't know how I feel about it. I guess I'm okay. My hair grows so fast anyway that it's actually not even going to matter, because, you know, in a week you're not going to be able to tell. But what I'm noticing though is we're cutting the color out, and you can't really tell unless you're right up on it, but it is turning my hair so gray. It is just so gray. So yeah, there it is. I don't know. It's only hair. But anyway, so I have noticed a lot of folk there for a hot minute. I thought, well, maybe it's just me going through some changes or whatever. But, you know, looking through the Facebook and, you know, talking to some friends on the phone, I see that a lot of us are going through some stuff. And not necessarily any sort of catastrophic event, but just feeling, maybe I know that so I have some friends that have like the seasonal depression, and so towards the end of the summer they get a little maudlin, they get a little melancholy, and I've never really been affected by the seasons changing. And if I'm being completely honest, I haven't really been that compliant with taking my Prozac, so I don't know if maybe I should start taking that more regularly. I don't know. But I've just noticed a lot of people getting mired down in like all of the yuck that's been happening. And it just seems like every time you turn around there is something else. I think every day, you want to be a positive person, or you want to be the kind of individual that tries to look at that glass as being half full, but then life happens, and you turn on the news, and there's all this yuck, and people doing mean things, and horrible things, and you just kind of want to just put your head in the sand and not bring it back out. This weekend I had planned on doing a bunch of different stuff, just kind of going out and doing this, doing that. And quite frankly, after I got all of my errand running, and it was necessary type stuff, because if it hadn't been, I'd have come straight home. But it was things that had to get done. So I got home from that around 4, and I decided that, I'm not leaving the house. My friend Heather, I have missed her so much. I will read this later, darling, when I can focus on it. But there goes that awesome attention span of mine again. Let's see, I was staying home. I was going to go do stuff, and I decided, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to stay home. I'm going to stay in my house, which I've done. Don't know what else I was going to say. Let me think. I don't know. Isn't that horrible? I mean, I'm serious. I can't even hold on to a thought for... But anywho, I was going to go do stuff. I was. But then I didn't. I stayed home. And I slept, honestly. I think I slept most of yesterday away. I feel kind of like sometimes when we get overwhelmed with the ugliness that happens in this world, I think that it's often, for me anyway, a good idea to just kind of sit and meditate and pray, and because quite honestly, for me, nothing else works. I mean, there isn't a miracle fix. For me, Jesus is the fix. And a lot of people who don't subscribe to any particular religion or any particular philosophy, theologically speaking, it's hard for them to understand, because they're like, well, what do you mean? Well, how does that work? What do you mean you pray? Or what do you... And it's hard to try to, I guess it's hard to explain. I mean, I think it's just one of those things that you just do. You just do it. It's like, well, how do you have faith? Well, you just have it. There isn't a manual or a set of instructions, or it's just it's a blind faith type deal. And I thank God for it. I try to read my Bible, but I don't know about the rest of y'all. I get so confused, and as we've discussed, I do have the attention deficit issues. And so I find sometimes I have to read a passage repeatedly in order to even try to gain some, semblance of understanding for it. And I think that's why a lot of times, like the Living Bibles and the things that explain it in common terms are better. I love these like prayer books and like devotional books and stuff, because they're written to where I can understand them. One of the things that I was doing yesterday when I wasn't sleeping was trying to find a way to bring peace to my soul. I mean, like I said, this has been a crazy year, crazy couple of years actually, but more so this year has been kind of crazy for me in the sense of, stuff that's happened, things that have gone on. There's still things that I struggle with. There's still things that I deal with. And sometimes my way of dealing is by not dealing. And then it ends up biting me in the butt later on. But I was reading my this is actually, it's called 1 Minute Prayers for Women. And they make this, there's 1 Minute Prayers for Men, Boston Terriers, goats, I don't know. There's basically a 1 minute book for everybody. It said something about it in the back. Yeah. There's 1 minute prayers for men gift edition, for women gift edition, young men, young women, prayers to end your day and to start your day. I wouldn't mind to have that. But anyway, this is a prayer about peace, and the scripture that it gives is Romans 12:18, and it is, if it is possible, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone. Lord, I long for your peace in my soul. I wish to draw it in and release it to others. Where I have a chance to act out your peace, please let me be strong and brave. Conflict is easier sometimes. It allows me to build barriers between me and another, or between me and the right way, but there is little comfort when I stand alone, indignant on one side of the wall. May I meditate on your word so that it rises to my mind in place of angry and defensive language. Peace flows from you and into my life. I know its power to change behavior and remove blindness. Grant me the opportunity to share this gift. And I think sometimes, we talk about attitudes that are contagious. And when someone is negative, how contagious that can be, and how you can go to work in a really good mood, and then you get this person who is just so negative. The one, the kid I'm talking about, and they just suck the life out of you and put you in a horrible mood. On the other side of that, if you are around people who are positive and people who bring joy, even if you come to work in a bad mood, those joyful people kind of have a way of bringing you out of that. You see what I'm saying? So I always try to be that person who brings joy or brings peace. And there are days that I have to pray for the peace, because there are days that you just, and it's normal, it's natural. I don't care if you're a Christian, a non-Christian, or what. We are human, and we have emotions, and we have feelings, and we have all these things that make us who we are. And I think the difference is faith. I really believe that. I think the difference is being able to sit down and take a quiet moment or two and just go to the Lord and say, listen, here's the deal, buddy. I'm struggling with this. I need some help. I feel a lot of anger. I feel a lot of resentment. I feel that this is a world where people just constantly do ugly things to one another and horrible things to one another, and it gets so disheartening, and it gets so depressing, and it gets me down. And we look for you, and we look for peace, and we look for guidance, and we just need a little help sometimes. Jesus, just kind of help me, basically. And today, obviously, being the anniversary of just a massive amount of ugliness, and it's just a lot. It's a lot to take in. And when you're down here, you're trying to live a good life, and you're trying to live your life for the Lord, and you're trying to allow Him to speak through you so that others may know Him. It's not always easy, and there's times that you get really disheartened, and so I just think sometimes the best thing to do is to just go home and sit for a couple of days and pray about it and think about it. And it's good to take a break. It's good to take a time out. And I think that's what I've needed. I needed that this week. I needed just to step back and say, listen, I've just got to remove myself from everything. I've got a lot of friends right now who are going through some struggles and going through some bad times, and some relationship stuff, and death and loss, and all these things that have the power to just absolutely cripple us and stop us dead in our tracks. And we get to this point where we think, God, I just can't go on. I can't go on another step. And what am I going to do? And it's a lot. It's a lot to take in, and it hurts my heart so deeply to see people that I care about going through some mess, because I've always been one of these type people that I want to fix things, and I want to help people, and I don't like to see people hurting. I mean, you have no idea how bad it kills my soul to see somebody going through something, and you want to be able to help them, and you can't, because you're looking around for, well, what can I do? How can I help you? And there's nothing. And so the only thing that you have left is to pray about it and pray for them and hope that God will touch their life, and hope that God will give them the strength that they need and the courage to better or to change their life. It's a lot. It's a lot to take on. And like I said, there's a lot of people that I know personally that are going through just kind of a funk. I mean, where they just kind of feel down about everything. And I just want to speak to them and tell them that, yeah, you know what, those times do exist. I struggle. I struggle myself. Things that hurt my heart, and things that haunt me on a daily basis that I try so hard to push down and to battle through, and certain things it's hard for me to give up, and hard for me to say, God, just take this from me. I'm still dealing with Alicia's death. I mean, that haunts me on a daily basis, and I have ideas as to why it does, but it doesn't change the fact that it's there, and I just don't even know what to do with it. So I understand having things that just make you stop in your tracks and say, God, what am I going to do? But what I can tell you, and what I will tell you, is that God will help you through whatever that is. I can't imagine going through some stuff without God. I can't imagine trying to exist in a world without that peace and without that guidance that he brings, that comfort that he brings. So I guess my message to anybody who's going through some stuff, whether it's whatever it is, everybody has their own thing. I'm not going to call out one thing or another that somebody might be going through, because everybody's going through something, okay? Whatever it is, just look at your life, and whatever it is that you're dealing with and that you're going through and that has weighed you down, anything, regardless what it might be, think about that. Look at it right in front of you, and just give it to God. And this is advice for myself included. I know that Alicia is in a better place, and I know that I know she's not hurting anymore. I understand that the cerebral part of me, I get it, I completely get it. But that old human part of us, that part that gets all sentimental and thinks and feels and sometimes thinks and feels too much, that's the part of me that's had such a hard time, with this. So when I give this advice out, I'm giving it to myself too. It don't necessarily mean I'm always going to take it, but I'm including myself in it. But whatever it is that has got you in a place of sadness, or a place of feeling helpless and like you're stalled, you know what? Pray about it. Just absolutely hit your knees and pray about it, and pray for God to enter your life and to help you through it, because He will. But you have to ask. God's not a mind reader, in the sense that He's just going to go ahead and fix it for you without you doing nothing. You see what I'm saying? People have this idea of, well, God's just going to take care of it. Well, honey, you gotta pray about it. You gotta, you can't just expect him to come through and okay, well, I'm gonna fix all this for you because you seem like a nice person. It it doesn't. JC don't roll like that. You got to humble yourself, and you got to ask for help. What is it? God helps those who helps themselves. So I think sometimes you kind of have to make some effort. It's not one of these things that just comes to you. It's not like Ed McMahon gonna roll up at your house with a check. I mean, Jesus ain't gonna roll up knocking on the door with a bundt cake in one hand and a hey, here's the answer to your problems in the other. It doesn't work like that. It'd be great if it did. I love a good bundt cake myself. Can't have it right now because of the carbs, but if I could have carbs, I would eat the cake, and I'd be happy for it. Just saying. So, but I don't know. Bad stuff's always going to happen. It always has happened. It's going to continue to happen, right? I think what sometimes we have to do. I think one of the reasons I post like those little puppy dog videos so much is that they're just cute. When you log on and all you see is people complaining about politics and the election and all the yuck that goes on and fighting and killing and my God, I mean it. So I think sometimes you have to counteract that. You have to counteract that with stories of love and joy and people being good to one another. Do you know what I mean? That whole thing, love does conquer hate. Yeah, there's a lot of hate out there, but I think there's more love, and I think sometimes we forget that. We become so bombarded with all the ugly that we forget that there really is a lot more good. There's a lot more beautiful out there. So I think sometimes it's better that we just remind ourselves of it, willfully remind ourselves. So what I will tell you today is that I will pray for you. It's just I hope that you pray for me too. It's a two-way street. I wish this ribbon fit inside this book a little bit better. It's kind of bothering my OCD just a little bit. It don't want to go in there. They didn't center it right. Bothers me just a little. Pray for me. I will pray for you. Just know that you are strong. We are all stronger than we know. You are stronger than you give yourself credit for. You're a beautiful, wonderful child of God. You are. And know that whatever this storm is you're going through, honey, you're going to make it through it. You're going to make it through it. I'm not going to say it's going to be easy. You're going to have to put in the work. You're going to have to help the situation out, but have faith. Have faith. And if you're going through a rough, rocky time with whatever it is you're going through, know that there's an end to it. Okay? Storms don't last forever. Every single storm will eventually run out of rain. It will. May not seem like it. Lord, honey, you might feel like Noah on the ark thinking, is this rain ever going to end? But yes, it will. Yes, it will. In the meantime, just create joy, find joy, be joy, become joy, carry joy with you everywhere you go, and it will work out. So, I don't know if this really helps. Like I said, I don't think it really encompasses everything that I'm feeling or everything that I wanted to say, but it does some of it. So, if it helped you, wonderful. If it didn't, I'm sorry. Sorry. But just know that I love you. Have a good day. Go out, be a blessing to someone. Sometimes that's, when you're feeling down, that is the best thing in the world you can do, is be a blessing to someone else. It lifts your spirits. It does. It truly does. So, y'all take care. I love you. And I'll see you next time.